Ang family home is foundation ng wealth natin ano. Dito sa Australia, karamihan ng mga na-create na asset dito is or ay ang family home eh. Yung wealth talaga ng mga Australians is sa family home. And I agree no na if you invest in a family home, you are actually creating an investment machine din ano na natutulog ka lang sa asset na yan at maaring nag-appreciate yung value. Maaaring binili mo siya ng 500,000, maaaring after 10 years, it will be a 1 million. The good thing about family home, yung emotional advantage din yan no, of living in your own space, di ba? Aside from, of course, kung pag-uusapan naman natin yung tax, saka makakita ng investment. Dito lang yan sa atin sa Australia, no? I don't know sa ibang bansa or sa Pilipinas, may capital gains tax ang family home. Sa Australia, as a general rule, if it's a family home, pag binenta mo yan, yung tumo mo dyan is not subject to tax, di ba? So it's very, very unique in Australia. Pero despite of that, no, may mga mistake din in buying family home. At yun ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon. Ano? Kasi napapansin ko rin na parang na-overborrow ka o buying a family home. You're buying a family home na you cannot afford. No? So, isi-share ko yung aking personal na strategy. Kabibili ko lang actually ng family home din after how many years of looking at a place sa tropical paradise no. Actually we have a home in Melbourne pero nga sa need ng anak namin with Rett syndrome kailangan niyang nasa tropical paradise no. Hindi good sa kanyang pneumonia na condition yung 4 seasons sa Melbourne eh. We research and then sabi nga ng doktor kailangan na sa medyo mainit na lugar. So naghanap kami ng place na tugma doon sa needs ng anak namin ano and we purchase a family home at yun ang isi-share ko na strategy sa inyo. So again, ako si Rom, a licensed financial advisor and accountant dito sa Australia. So sa pagbili ng family home, we use our own strategy. Alam ko majority sa inyo nanonood dito nabibili ng bahay is of course kukuha ng broker, pupunta sa bangko and i-assess kung magkano yung afford niyo. Like for example, sinabi ng bangko na afford niyo yung 1 million and then that's the time na you shop an asset na worth 1 million, no? Sa akin iniba ko siya ng konti. As discussed no sa aming family budget with my wife Tess ano sinabi namin na we limit our budget no yung budget namin sa family home to 30% of our income. So medyo iniba ko siya ng konti no instead of going to the bank kasi kung pupunta kami sa bangko, maring iba ang value na may hiram namin no. So we don't have a debt, family income namin is combined no. My wife works as an accounts and payroll. Ako naman I'm running a business, Tax Smart Cafe and growing a small amount of salary sa business din. Majority ng kita ng business is binire-reinvest sa staff and sa negosyo no. So may small amount of salary. May salary yung wife ko si Tess. Combined income namin is 170,000. Nag-usapan namin na we don't spend more than 30% ng income namin, which is 30% yan is 51,000 no. So bakit kamo ganun? Mataas ang tax dito sa Australia assuming na binudget nyo sa family home is 50% of your income, may tax ka na binabayaran na 35% assuming no. So may iiwang ka lang na 15% and then paano kung may car loan ka pa, expenses mo sa car is 10%. Meron ka lang 5% na may iwan for living expenses, di ba? No? So aming strategy is 30% lang. Hindi kami based on yung capacity namin kasi sa amin with all humility, no. We build a big amount of equity in our asset then. 10 years ago, we start investing in property. Yung mga property na yun is nag-appreciate ang value. Ang equity pala is yung market value ng property less yung utang. Ano? And with that, no, we're so lucky with the investment in property. Calculated na ang aming equity is 7-digit, no? And then we have a big amount of investment in shares then. Wala kaming utang. I hate loan, ano? So wala kaming car loan, personal loan, credit card. Wala kaming credit card, no? So based on that, maaaring malaki yung maluloan namin sa sa bangko. Pero hindi 'yun ang ginawa namin, o hindi, ayokong madiktahan kami ng bangko kung magkano ang ilo-loan namin, kundi dinesign namin na pasok ang bibilin namin sa budget namin na pagkasunduan namin na 30% lang ng budget namin ang mapupunta sa expenses sa family home. Ang expenses natin ay yung monthly repayment natin, no? And then yung mga maintenance and council rates, water, yung gano'n, no? So 51,000 and 30% doon. Currently, our expenses mas mababa ang na gamit namin diyan, at because of yung pangalawang strategy natin, no? So medyo ang actual na hiram namin is actually parang 18% lang, no? Ang repayment namin is 25,800 per year. Medyo mababa ang nahiram namin, because of, as mentioned, yung dalawang strategy na babanggitin ko next, no? So annual repayment namin sa loan namin is 25,800, at nagdagdag ako ng 4,200 dyan for council rate, water, and electricity. Medyo mababa ang electricity namin kasi meron kaming solar, no? Halos wala kaming binabayaran dyan. So ang combined na expenses namin sa budget namin, sa annual budget namin, is 18% lang, no? So napapansin niyo, nag-budget kami ng 13%. So favorable budget ito, no? So 18% lang ng annual expense namin napunta sa family home. Pangalawang strategy, yung second rule natin is 20%, no? 20%, when we purchased our family home, we paid 20% in cash actually. So yun ang parang rule namin, na hindi tayo mag-loan ng more than 80%. Ang reason dito is yung lender mortgage insurance, no? Dito kasi sa Australia, if you borrow more than 80%, no, magbabayad ka ng LMI. So actually, I don't want to pay an insurance that will protect the bank. Protection yun kasi yun ng bangko, hindi namin protection, no? So halos walang benefits sa amin. So kailangan 20% ang cash na mabayaran namin, and 80% ilo-loan namin sa bangko. Actually, ang purchase naming property is worth 510,000. 20% deposit niyan is 102,000. Ang ilo-loan namin is 408,000. Pero nga lang, may extra kaming pera that time. So, ang loan lang namin, currently, ang loan namin is 393,000. So, halos 23% ang na-deposit namin. So, 23%. So, mababa yung nahiram namin. So, 393,000 ang outstanding loan namin. Ang 3 na rule, no? So, 30, 23 ang rule na binabanggit natin. Yung last na rule is yung 3. We don't buy a family home na times 3 ng annual salary namin. So, 170,000 yung income namin, times 3 yun is 510,000. So, we limit doon lang yung budget namin sa family home. So, we purchase a land, 177,000. Pero round off ko siya, no? So, 180,000 because of mga fees pa, no, conveyancing, parang gano'n. So 180,000 ang purchase price namin ng land, and then yung build namin is we limit namin lang siya sa 330,000. So 510,000 combined, which is kung makikita nyo, 170,000 family income, times 3 namin, 510,000 siya. Yun ang dalawang sa rule na binabanggit ko, yung 30-20-3 rule, yung 20 and 3 na rule, yung nagpababa ng namin, ng annual repayment namin, So may kanya-kanyang every strategy, no. It's a personal finance ito, the personal financial planning na sinishare ko lang sa inyo, na maaaring maging guide niyo siya, no. Personal finance maaaring applicable sa amin ito, no. So every strategy may kanya-kanyang advantage and disadvantages din, So ang nakikita kong advantages, no, ng strategy ko na ito, no, na sinishare ko sa inyo. Number 1 dyan is yung loan na imbes na bayaran natin ng 30 years. Actually, di ba, pag bibili tayo ng property, ay loan term dyan is around 30 years, With our current repayment, no, and sometimes with our frugal and simple living, using Invest Smart Calculator, pag binabayad namin nag extra kami, we can pay it off maybe earliest is 7 years, latest is 10 years, no? Hoping na tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang trabaho namin, ang business is tuloy-tuloy pa rin ang income na kinukuha po sa business, no? So subject ito sa, of course, hindi natin alam kung ano mangyayari in the future, but currently kung ang repayment and extra payments namin, we can pay it off in 7 to 10 years. Yun siguro ang kagandahan ng mababa yung loan mo, Another advantage is we increase our budget in lifestyle, kasi di ba, kung napapansin nyo, 18% lang yung budget namin for our mortgage, no? So we increase our budget for lifestyle, happiness. So, kagaling na namin sa Pilipinas. Pagbalik namin dito, we are planning to go back again. We plan to travel. We always connect with our old friends, mga kapatid ko, ibang ang happiness na ibibigay doon. Kung overborrowed, maring hindi mo yan magagawa kung wala kang budget for that, dahil na overborrowed ka sa family home din. Another advantage nito is we increase our budget then in gift giving, or in donation. I accept a scholarship din, tumutulong tayo sa mga nangailangan ng mga tao, with that, yung gift giving natin, yung donation natin is it will not increase our wealth actually, but give us the true value of wealth. There's wisdom and value sa gift giving din. Another advantage is we can do what we love. So anong ibig sabihin nito? Work is not it's only an option. For example, we can get a lead. Di ba, nagta-travel din kami, So, yun ang advantage naman ng ginawa namin to not overborrow sa loan. Ang disadvantage nito, sa inyong mga viewers din, if you follow this rule, so the 30% maring location will be an issue. Lalo ngayon, Sydney, Melbourne, ang mahal ng mga property, So, maring you dream of living in a fancy suburb, maring sa Turac, maring sa St. Kilda, di ba? Maring hindi mo siya ma-afford. Depende sa salary ninyong mag-asawa, Maring you want to live close sa school mo, sa hospital, yung may mga nurses dito, na mga hospital na yun is nasa premium na suburb siya, maring hindi mo siya afford. That's a big disadvantage. Mga kaibigan, di ba? Maring doon nakabili mga kaibigan niyo sa mamahaling suburb, maring hindi ka makabili doon because of your income. The 20% deposit, it will be a big challenge then. 65% ng Australians are living paycheck to paycheck. It's very, very challenging yung 20% na deposit. Some of you, maring LMI is very, very applicable, Because if you keep on saving para sa deposit, maring in 10 years mo pa siya maiipon, and there's opportunity cost naman dyan. Paying an LMI, maring okay, you will borrow 95% sa banko, and then you pay an LMI, and you get the benefit of appreciation ng property. It so happen na meron akong cash na pang deposit, And then the 3, maring hindi siya dream house mo, Times 3 ng salary ninyo, maring hindi ito pang dream house ninyo. Maring ang dream house mo is 2-story, maring merong swimming pool, maring may own strategy. Yun ang pinakamalaking disadvantage din. Pero sinishare ko lang sa inyo yung strategy na ito para you buy based on your budget, di ba? Hindi ka bumibili based on you want to keep up with the Jones, di ba? So bibili ka ng bahay dahil doon bumili yung mga kaibigan mong mayayaman, baka mayaman sila, ikaw hindi, di ba? Bibili ka doon sa suburb na afford nila, pero ikaw hindi, Isang masama din dyan is you buy a property because you want to impress your friends that you don't like, di ba? Bibili ka, ni-impress mo sila ng 2-story mo na house dahil gusto mo lang magpakita ang gilas sa kanila, Ang isa pa dyan is you buy an asset, na kunwari hindi mo siya binibase sa iyong personal na circumstances, maybe you will purchase an asset na hindi mo masyadong kailangan or maaring, di ba, sobrang laki para sa inyo, and you will end up in a financial stress, So, yun ang strategy na i-share ko sa inyo. Na-share ko sa inyo. Kung may natutunan ka, kahit isa, hit like and subscribe. At kung may feel mo naman na may own strategy, yung may own experiences makatulong sa kaibigan mo or sa kapamilya mo, bakit hindi mo i-share ang video na ito? So, kita-kits ulit tayo next week.